Welcome to TheoTrade. It's Don Kaufman here, July 22nd, 2026. Few minutes after the cash close here on this Wednesday afternoon. Some heavy earnings out this evening. Google, Tesla, IBM. We're going to look at all of them. But before we do that, you got to look at the fact that the S&Ps, even after all the earnings are out, are massively unchanged. 75.50. The NASDAQ down mildly. Look, you just don't read into the fact that the NASDAQ is down, 0.3%. But let's start this TheoTrade evening update by reiterating some very, very key levels, both in the NASDAQ and the S&Ps. You're going to hear me talk about this extensively. The first level that I want to mention, and that's not just in play for right here or right now or today or the remainder of this week. This has been in play for months. Okay, let's write it up on the screen. Okay, we call this a gravity point, 75.11. That is in the S&P futures, 75.11. Expect that is, if you will, the center of your trade. It's the gravity point. Now, that 75.11 came up this morning, and you can actually see as we crossed through the gravity point, the volume really picks up. There's some news out at the exact same moment. But again, 75.11 is an absolutely key threshold now to the entire marketplace. So let's get to it. Let's show you on the last, for instance, 30 days. For the last 30 days, what's it been like? Well, 75.11, it's been like threading the needle. I mean, it's literally, that's the center of trade. Let's back up to a 180-day 4-hour chart. We'll zoom in a little bit, okay? But coming in to May, the very beginning of May, this became the central point of trade, okay? It's now marked in our chart. We're trading the exact same place. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, you've got a level to be able to trade off of. Again, 75.11 is, if you will, the center point of trade, what I term a gravity point. And you can pretty much anticipate, even some of the earnings that come out, whether it's today and it's Google and it's Tesla, which we'll look at in a moment, or whether tomorrow you've got Intel coming out. Okay, and Intel, at least from my perspective and in my opinion, I think Intel's more important than Google, okay, and Tesla tonight. You may disagree, and that is fine. So why is Intel so important? It's got a $13 expected move and a $102 stock. And it's weird because I can't remember another time when I'm talking about an earnings announcement, okay, that isn't even today. It's not even today, it's tomorrow. And I'm talking about it over Google, over Tesla. Who cares? IBM, who gives a crap, okay? Texas Instruments, whatever, who cares? This is like a 13% move. Whereas if you take a look at Google, okay, Google's got a $20 expected move, a $340 stock. Crap, okay? I'm telling you, where it's at right now, it's Intel. It's Intel, that's where it's at. And Intel, because it belongs to the semiconductors are what got the market to where it presently is. That's what's going to matter. All right. And that's what does matter. So keep that in mind. Now, let's go over to Google for a second. Let's go to Google. Okay. What I want to say about Google, it's massively unchanged, but nobody cares anymore about the numbers. Like, yes, you have to have good numbers in the cloud business. Oh, it's got to have good numbers. Yeah, the numbers got to be decent, but nobody really cares about the numbers. The stock's not going to start moving, okay, now until the conference call, which is unusual turf that we're in right now because nobody gives a crap about the present. They don't give a crap about the past. They only care about the future. Will you continue to spend, Google? Will you? Okay, what are your new models going to look like? That's all they care about. That conference call is coming up. All right, so that's Google in a nutshell. And again, Google was poised to move $20. Actual move right now, zero. I mean, put a big donut in it. It's literally, it's not even pennies away from the close. It's on where it closed right now. The bid offer spread is wrapped around the last price that it traded at. Okay, let's move over to Tesla for a second. After hours here in Tesla, you're like, oh no, it's down. Okay, Tesla is positioned to move just over 20 bucks. Actual move right now, nominal. Between what, 13, 14 bucks is that move. It feels like it's going to continue to slip. But then again, you're going to have Elon Musk talk about the robots, man. They're building robots. Actually, they're building the line that's going to build the robots, and then the robots are going to build the robots. But it's a completely different story. But it does look like Tesla's slipping. But Tesla is what I would term an odd animal out, meaning that Tesla could tank. And yes, it'll weigh on the NASDAQ, it'll weigh in the S&Ps a little bit, but it's not going to determine, okay, the future of the marketplace by any stretch of the imagination, because it trades as an anomaly. It's off to the side. It trades in its own autonomy as well. What else we got tonight? I mean, those are the two big ones, Google, Tesla. Of course, you can look at IBM. IBM got smoked, got absolutely smoked just over a week ago on a pre-announcement that it was going to miss earnings. Comes out, and of course, the stock is bid back up. This one, I traded for it that way. Stock's not exactly up huge right now. It's only up about $5-6. It's supposed to be a $15 move. Again, as I said to you guys, I feel like everything right now, it's not about the present. It's definitely not about the past. All they care about is what the future is going to look like. So in IBM, we wait. But again, I want this to resonate with you that the biggest earnings, in my opinion, that are coming out, and not just this week, even into some portions of next week. Like, but Microsoft, nobody gives a crap about Microsoft anymore. They don't care. They're not a player in the AI space. But Don, okay, what about when Apple comes out? Well, that's a little ways out, but yeah, they're not a player in the AI space. Okay, what about Amazon? Yeah, what about them? Okay, they're not a player. And you have to put perspective on there. Meta, all right, maybe Meta moved the market a little bit, but they're, are they a player in the AI space? Well, they're supposed to be. They just can't get anything done. So stock's getting absolutely hammered over here. Okay, if they could get a model out that didn't suck, absolutely. So to me, this particular earnings season, with all due respect, I think it's Intel, and people want to talk about like Micron. Micron already passed through earnings. It's a different cycle. Okay, they want to talk about AMD a little bit. AMD's out there a little bit too, but right now it's unequivocally it's chip stocks. Okay, it's chip stocks is kind of where it's at, and Intel is is kind of the premier of that. So back to the S&Ps again, which are massively unchanged. Look, you can talk, all right, pretty much to your blue in the face about where you think the S&Ps are going, but as I said, and I continue to reiterate, we're trapped right now, and I'm going to zoom in on it, and I want you really to think long and hard about this, but we are trapped right now in what we term a volatility box. Okay, I shouldn't have put that quite that far up, but we're trapped in this volatility box, upper edge of the range, lower edge of the range, and we're just kind of skirting right through that middle, okay, which is the gravity point, which is 75.11, and quite frankly, so I've seen this time and time again inside of the S&Ps, inside of the marketplace, and people get a little frustrated with it because all we basically do is we're just pinging back and forth. Like, you don't want to read too deeply into it. You're going to need a bit of an exogenous event to crack us off, crack us higher or crack us lower. And I stress this so much because what's going to keep us in this range, and this is the important part, what's going to keep us in the range, the longer you're in the range, okay, the more open interest in the options that you're starting to pick up. And what it's doing is the ball of risk continues to grow, okay? But the hedging activity around that is literally keeping the ball of risk in play inside the range. So you have this, again, double-edged sword where you're stuck in a range, okay, because of all this open interest and this ball of risk. And the ball of risk continues to grow. And the only way to get outside the range is to actually get kind of kick-started. And it'll happen, people. It'll happen. But when we break the range, what everybody always wants to, when we're going to break the range, we're going to break to the upside or the downside. I got to tell you what I've seen, okay? Every time we're in a volatility box like that, you could pretty much flip a coin. But I have actually seen, okay, a number of times, and I'll give you an example, where you break to the upside initially and then just come crashing back down. I've also seen the opposite. We test to the low side, okay, and explode back up. So there's going to be a lot of false breakouts on either side of it. Okay. But what I'm going to give you in the weekend update is really kind of good demarcation points of, okay, exactly when we're going to break that range and what it's going to look like. And I don't think it's going to be an earnings announcement per se that effectively does it. It could be a multitude of earnings announcements with other catalysts, but it's usually some type of, again, of an exogenous event that will actually cause us, if you will, to kind of crack the range. But you're now, look, you're May, you're June, you're into the end of July now. He's the exact same range. You can talk till you're blue in the face. Okay. Who gives a crap? You're 75.11 all day long right now. And not even earnings. Okay. And the heavy earnings tonight cracked us at all. Look at this. S&P is massively unchanged. And I got to tell you, don't be surprised if you wake up and they're sitting at 75.11 tomorrow morning. All right. That's it for tonight. Thanks everybody for joining us here at TheoTrade. Have a wonderful evening. And remember, on the weekend update, I'm going to talk a little bit about cracking that volatility box. Thanks, everybody. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.